eno akaseera ka byakulonda era nga obuvuyo tutandise bulabako naddala mu kamyufu ka NRM abagenda okubanga bakuba akalulu ku lunaku lwokutaano wiiki eno okulaba ani anakwata bendera ya NRM mu kubaka waba parliament. Katandike ne omukulu Tamale Mirundi nsanyusa okulabako nsubira oli bulungi
twasoma kubeera bubi
buli kimu kitambula
nganti ndi bubi mbu covid ekuyisizza etya kati ate covid bwetuuka okuyisa nze obubi abanaku banaabeera bati
kituufu
everything is a challenge.
nkulaba obulamu bulungi nnyo era nga akasaati koyambali n'akakofiira kalagirawo ddala nti ewuwo munnaye
era bwenyambala ate kankubuulire awagira Museveni talina kyalina
awagira Museveni talina kyalina
nawandiika obutabo mu different languages. This is a Kinyankole book mu campaign obulimba bwa Bassajja ne Gundi nempandika obutabo bungi banziba millions zange ebikumi bitano has never been paid. I hear people getting billions.
Nego kyabanja
for us we don't work for money. Kubanzi bana Bassajja
ofunira muwa
nabategeera nabagamba tukita simiriza obugero amwe hunting a dog from 7 never tukitegeera a dog hunts for the master and self
naye funako
walirabyeko embwa ewerekera abagenda okusola ebinyeebwa
tebaliyo kaibe bijanja aletya kuba nyama
emanyi okubuga waliyo girabyeko mu nyanja
teriyo
but they don't understand kati fe tulina destination ekyokubiri tukiyita mu political science tukiyita systems analysis ayira okukwata system y'abantu ekola etya system y'abantu fe batusomesa mu byobufuzi when a leader or a political party humiliates, disregards those who deliver committed service to him or to the party, ends up using him. This is where the movement is.
Katandikirawo omukulu Tamale Mirundi. Olunaku olweggulo munnamawulire gwe tulidde ebbanga nga tumusomako tumuwuliriza tumulaba yasaze eddiiro nga oluvannyuma lw'okukwata kaadi ya NUP okumala ennaku 27 n'amala tubalabe bannamawulire bangi omuli Betty Namboze omuli Andrew Muwenda naawe mwennyini Tamale Mirundi wali munnamawulire n'omala n'osala eddiiro kitegeeza ki
bannamawulire abali professional kyekibakola obubi tulonda ekifo ky'omunnamawulire muleeta omusomi w'ebirango yasoma mu institute oyo gumbuulira amala obudde bwange kakati zekankubuulira
Tamale Mirundi abantu abavuddeyo nga bawakanya gavumenti eriko ne bamala ne basala eddiiro
ekyo kyoba oyogera
kitegeeza ki kuba naye wali omu ku bo abali bawakanya gavumenti ne mane osala eddiiro
mweyo guruufu nze bano abasajja nali mbamanyi kuva mu nsiko singa nalinga musinga siva wasale nalaba sale mu 83 nampa n'assignment mbatwalira ebintu. Do you see me in Sally's place?
Not at all.
I have my destination. Nina byengoba. And when I look around, Katonda yampa ne mali myaka 14 mu kifo eky'amaanyi ennyo. I look at these people. Nimbategeera. Nze nalina simwogere mu 96. I was one of his advisors. In fact, omu ku reporters yafa. Mutabani we yazze n'andaba ku weekend. Nimugamba mama wa jjajja walidda nti ali mu nnyendo. Nimugamba mulowooza okuziika kw'oyo omwana Luwemba attracted all the DP leaders, the opposition leaders. Semogere yali ava gindi mbalala eyo n'asanga ekimotoka ky'amagye mu kkubo nga kiringa ekifudde ne kizunga mu kkubo. Ekyamuyamba yali mu motoka ngumu ya Benz. Banne oyo omwana n'afa. Nababuuza nti Semogere mugendayo. Nali ne Semwogere twakwatagana mu ngalo ntwawukana. Why? Yaleeta aba UPC. Ne muga Semwogere tosobola kusonyiwa kusinga Katonda. The UPCs have come, they will take away your votes and they are coming with nothing. Nga bwe mulaba abakyuka. Nababulya ne mbagamba ono omwana namuwandiikako.
Bobi
Wine. Kaddi kano. I predicted Bobi Wine. Mu katabo kange kano. Kaddi kano.
Ka 23 wakawandika nga Sunday 23 July 2017.
Is it a revolution or victory? I analyze Bobi Wine. Longe ago. I have time. Kakati kyegamba nze wasemwogera ekyanzijayo on principle. Era nze gundi toka nali sibamanyi abo bonna mbamanyi bonna.
Bassajja Mivure.
Yes, kubanga you see nze mbagamba, what does one want? What do you want to achieve in your life? Do you have a destination? Nze mbaga nti I suffer setbacks. If I'm traveling to Kajansi and you offer me a lift, you drop me at Namasuba, you have made my journey shorter. I can walk to Kajansi. Naye I cannot become a permanent. Kubana nabasoma bano. Nkugambye principle esooka. Ti any leader or political party that humiliates, that disregards, that does not reward its committed cadres will end up using mercenaries. This is what is happening. It answers it. And you end up killing both. Oh no, in political science, you cannot move from one extreme end of politics to the other. That's why bidandi salyo inake wekoledde, you cannot turn around and then contest with Museveni. You must explain that the Museveni I supported has changed. Mbabazi on record omukulembeze omulungi Tamale gajibwawo. Tomorrow you say what? You were super minister, I did not have powers. Do you believe that people are gullible? You can only move from one extreme politics to the other of a society when it is divine. Nti Saulo yafuuka Paulo. Katonda okugamba nti Saulo njiganyiza ki? Yafuuka Paulo. A quote of the Bible was written by this man.
True.
Why? What many people don't know. Paulo was a lecturer in University of Bassajja at that time. Jesus was responding to the Bassajja who were knowledgeable. Umuntu omulala genda omusome mu Busiraamu bamuyita woman.
So
Katonda ye yamulagira. Anybody who moves from one extreme end of politics to the other talina kyatwala. If a leader waits Museveni to sack you, toyina kyotwala because kitegeeza singa teyagobye. In fact we reject to society. Kakati mukimutandategeera nti abo Balaam bani. First of all, I cannot associate with Balaam. Balaam is associated with buying.
Ali mukugula.
If today I crossed Bobi Wine, unless I'm received by Bobi Wine, tewali mulala ajja.
Kyogamba kano yekuye mupiira Bassajja Mivure.
Yes. But what was the destination? Waliwo omwana akaabanga mulwadde nemuwa ebbere n'aligaana. Niwabawo omwana akabira okuyonga. Tutambula n'abantu nga tugenda okuziika. Ng'abamu basazi ba nsawo. Nabo baba bagenda kuziika. You see, we're seated in the same car. Ayagala ki? Kusaasira ayagala ki? Oyo ayagala ki? Ono ayagala ki omuyimbi? What do I want?
Byanfuna.
Nze njagala ki? I have a destination.
Kachoka Bassajja Mivure tayina destination.
Nti okusanyawo Sodoma ne Gomora yabasaba abantu basatu ne babulamu. Don't think that Uganda would be governed by mafias all of the time. There will be a time for Ugandans to demand era ne mafia irwana njiraba. Kati ekyokubiri mu kyemutamanyi nti bano abasajja ba mafia babala basinga. Kakati omuntu ngondi media institution bagenda jiwa sente okusinza ku balabi baayo. Kati bano ababbi balowooza nti by plucking this man tubalamuzi studio station babawe sente nti ayina value. Tewalabye owa New Vision mbu akozeewo gundi ey'oluluwo. Why? Tewalabye Edombo mbu Dombo. We have money to pay for your airtime. If you have money to pay for my airtime, buy me an underwear also. Obujuzi bwennyini obubunyira ddala. These MPs, the nominated MPs, should select which is suitable media. Ewulirwe waabwe. Kati Dombo alina kana aka New Vision. Baagala babbire wali. Bakusasulidde obudde. Let any fool, any idiot tamper with my programs. I've been sustaining my programs out of sacrifice. You have been switching off my programs. When it comes to elections, you land on me, I smash your head. That's me. kati mmwe temulina principles temumalaako nze mmalako lwaki I have the cost of resistance nti I rejected the job for 7 years I'm still around none of my children is out of school all my wives are driving cars kakati chichi nze nina cost of resistance Museveni yalina cost of resistance Museveni tells us he had a cause nti do you believe Nyerere yali tasobola convincing Obote nti wa Museveni omulimu Eta kisobola Museveni bw'osoma ekitabo kye the earlier one which I translated mu Luganda ne bakinzibako naye nze sente nazirya nsimba akasiko ka kalidaali and it was popular in Luganda people understand in their local languages kakati Museveni yagamba mu kitabo kye nti after attacking Kabamba twagenda ku faamu ya Sebuliba bannaffe abamu ne bagamba nti watulese kutussa because many believed nti Museveni alina amagye amagye gagenda kuwamba government. The president tells us nti babaleka ne bakomawo but he does not mention their names. Their cause was different. They were opportunists. Kakati gwe tolowooza nti omuwala agenda mu busista aba yabula abalinzi ku kyalo ye commitment ye eri ku ki to serve God. So you cannot band all of us. Two, nti mafia yerowooza nti abantu basiru. Era I want to tell you Museveni is not fighting Bobi Wine. Not at all. Museveni is fighting a rebellion inside his palace.
Kitegeeza kyekyo Tamale.
Hey, anti kakati kana katabo kange kasome mu introduction yokka. Nzinze amulake buno bonna bwange and others are ready. I rely on knowledge. I did mass communication, I'm a mass communicator. Ojako TVN, ojijako, mbataje tukole nkuta. I work alone. If the president believes that he needs my services, I must have a special budget. Not under anybody. I'm above Dombo. I'm above Nabako. How can Dombo control me? I cannot attend where Dombo is sharing as far as the media is concerned. Yariaba the coach, mu media. Dombo yariaba the coach mu media. Do you call me when Dombo is sharing in the meeting? Me, Mutani wa Mirundi, nswere mpunu. Kakati zenkubolira. Nti all of these issues you are discussing originate from here. Nawandika katavaako.
Tutandikire wangu.
Awo nyini mu introduction.
For quite a long time, there existed a common belief among the managers of Coca-Cola, a giant manufacturer of soft drinks, that their arch rival in the market was Pepsi Cola. It was until Coca-Cola appointed a new manager from East Africa region that this belief was disproved. The new manager sat down to draw a new marketing strategy for the company, only to find out that the centuries-old belief was untrue. This phenomenon is not so strange across the world. People fail to understand their real enemies, but spend most of their lives in illusion of perceived enemies. Tugende maso? The findings in the new manager's report were both intriguing and amazing. The findings revealed that Pepsi Cola was not the biggest supplier of soft drinks in East Africa, and therefore, a majority of the population in East Africa who wanted to drink either Coca-Cola or Pepsi Cola could not do so because none of the products was available in most of the small towns across East Africa.
For a long time, the manager of Coca-Cola was Pepsi Cola in their biggest competitor. Until the new manager came to East Africa, Nakola research. N'akizula nga Coca-Cola gyetatuuka ne Pepsi tetuukayo. N'agamba ki bring these big refrigerators mulaba ebweru tutuuke ne Pepsi Cola gyatatuuka. We are not competing with the Pepsi Cola because Pepsi Cola gyatatuuka naffe tetutuukayo. Bali banywa ki? Let us get these people. Kakati ne politics bwali.
So Bobby Wine is Museveni
talwanyisa Bobby Wine. Museveni yalinga Coca-Cola bwalowooza nga nti Pepsi nga si Pepsi. And this, why did I name it a curse? To set up curse. Nakawandika. When did I write this book? And bonobapu damu never producing. But earlier, nimputerako. Nti Obote yalowooza nti kingdoms because Obote did not want to share power. A dictator cannot share power. That's why as a political scientist, I'm amazed whenever I hear people accusing Museveni of being a dictator. When you have several layers of authority in Uganda, district is an entity. Nebatambula ebweru, nebasayininga memoranda, nebakolaki, bagenda munane government organization, nebajjayo sente. A dictator cannot allow several centers of authority. Kakati Obote bwe yajja yayagala okuteekawo a single party arrangement. Eggwanga alifuge ne political parties n'aziwera. But Idi Amin, who toppled him, was always close to him. So the enemy of Obote
yali munda mu ye
teyali kingdoms. Amin was not a former king of the abolished kingdoms.
teyalina
Teyali
omulaba abeera munda
yes.
gwe
Kakati nenkugamba nti look what Gondi Obote again. Look what Amin. Amin believed almost his attention on Tanzania. Obote akomawo. Obote akomawo. I come near the border, Mutukula, near the border. Twayina enkambi ye Masaka suicide, nga tulina ku buyambi mu Kalitunsi, nga tulina Sanje, nga tulina Sangobbe, nga tulina Mutukula. 45. Ubongo we bonna buli kwani. Until we invaded Tanzania. But the people who are killing Ugandans, who are putting them in caboots, we are not sent by Nyerere. He annexed Kagera, which toppled him. The Tanzanians, he incited the Tanzanians and they toppled him. Nenga abatta abantu baliruda. Mariamu Nyerere yali amufuga. Mustafa Adis Nyerere yali amufuga. Faruku Minawa Nyerere yali amufuga. Obote comes back, concentrated on Museveni. Everything was done on Museveni. We had the North Korean commandos training the we had the advanced British training team here. We have the Tanzanians here training Obote's army. And in 1984, Obote training Abajase Mitwaleji, Naga Wogole to flash to solve the Museveni menace once and for all. Who toppled him? Paulo Mwanga, he's the vice president. And Okero, who was a commander. He was not Museveni. Museveni was far away by the time. Okay, Obote was toppled. Museveni was outside the country.
All
the efforts the president is making to decimate this man, Zabwerere, mafia ye mutabula, mafia ye. Is Bobby Wine the man? Has Bobby Wine's people stolen COVID money?
Apana.
Has Bobby Wine's people stolen money intended for radios? I've read this man is newspaper. Radios are here. You read here.
Submission of bids. Bids should be submitted to address below, no later than the date and time of the deadline. Late bids will be rejected. Date of deadline, yearly 22nd August 2020. Time of deadline, 11 a.m. Address, Minister of Education and Sports.
Bassajja chekatamanyi. You cannot edit an English newspaper when you are stupid. And I doubt he's not stupid, but he's caught up with a mafia. He thinks that he can deceive everybody. If the tenders were recently opened, bids, how can the radios come in the country now? Two, we have two types of radios. They were allocated 400 billions on the project. The first consignment of radios was to come during the COVID when the schools are not opening. Kakati today, you are talking about the resumption of schools, radios. Which type of radios have arrived? The radios that have arrived are in his head. If they have arrived, you wouldn't be talking about the resumption of schools. If the radios have arrived. If they have arrived and they are the same radio stations that could help the students, then the bids would stop. Nabagamba, nti president bamutwala mu gundi n'ebifaananyi biina mu kizimbe ekitaliiyo nga bakisanzeeko ne bamugamba nti buy Uganda. About 4 million zina kukolebwa wantu tuyina ba manufacturer. Let anybody tell me whether we have a radio manufacturing company in Uganda. Ne batwala na bino niye bajja bayola. These are documented things. And when I document some of these things at the embassies.
Birabibwa.
Yes. Biri documented.
Biwulibwa.
Ojja kulaba yogwe bakutte omukyayina yadduka. Omukyayina
oli kwagamba yesiga kiwi.
Omukyayina yesiga kiwi. Akala kagendedde mu gundi mu kibox kya nyanya ku airport. Obulala buli bubiri fugitive buli wa muntu. But what did I do about the Chinese? Soko somewa. Abachina nabagamba ki?
Finally, China should understand that the projects being implemented in Africa are permanent monuments that form bases from which its reputation can be appreciated or discredited. It should be noted that China has financed several projects in Uganda, including an ice cream plant, Kibimba Rice Scheme, and Mandela National Stadium. China should be mindful of the democratic process going on in Africa, and its policy should not be very far from what America and European countries have deployed. China should avoid a status of ideas and of Indians and Lebanese who are always targeted during political upheavals in East Africa. Following the failed coup in Kenya in 1983, angry mobs targeted Indian women and shops. This state of affairs happens when citizens perceive that foreigners have taken over what the local people can do.
Yes. Nabagamba, we call it a bogey. In East Africa, the Indians are hated. Why? They live a slightly better life than others. The moment you live a slightly better life than others, you compete with the natives over resources, you are gone. Why do people talk about Banyarwanda here? Not the Congolese.
Because they live a better life than others.
They compete with us. That's why there was a hot debate in the parliament in NRC about the future of the Banyarwanda officers in Yame. Rwejema was the deputy minister.
True.
Excellency Kagame was head of the same way. Ugandans were perturbed. So, but the Congolese with their Bikoyi, with their Lesu, who cares about them?
No one cares about them.
Why has these Europeans, why have they maintained their stay in Africa for long? Abachina, Babi Ngato, Abachina, Babi Damu, Abachina, every day the Chinese have risked their future in Africa, especially in Uganda. Luachi Tanzania, Ebadden Abachina, Bazing Tanzama Gund, Teeko Abachina and Gabali Uganda. Why is it that during Amini's time, the Chinese put up strong monuments, Mandela, ice plant, Chibimba ice cream? The problem is that the mafias have infiltrated the Chinese. Recently, Bagambi president, nti naitiru ina okole ngoyi. Tetusobola kwambala ngoyi zammwe. Do you believe that in Japan there are no Mercedes Benzes? First put something on a standard. Bagobya abantu bonna China. Whoever is using the Chinese is making their stay here very short-lived.
Tamale, mundowoza n'endaba y'ebintu. Is there need to worry about Chinese? Kuba waliwo ebyogerwa.
Why are we not talking about the Americans? Why are we not talking about the British who are here for 70 years? Why do we talk about the Chinese? The Chinese are being used by the mafia gang. And they have surrendered.
What was the
Gondi, Yisimba, 54 billion was taken using a fake Chinese. These radio stations, a Chinese had to paint himself, Kiwi, to run away. In these radio sets, another Chinese fled the country. This guy started the luggage at Entebbe airport. 2 Chinese are fugitives in Goma, where the mafias have a melting company.
Mirundi.
Bassajja bansikedi bankubidde esimu ne baŋŋamba nti tulagirire nenga nti utafiira omukwano gwange yamanyi olulingala nja kumunoonya bagamba tulagirire we bali tubanywe balabika amakutiya ga ssente ge babyewa mugali eno tunaakuwa kati bagenda kuduma balaga Nairobi naye munaakomawa. Stop stealing money. So I'm telling you, this is the easiest election for President Museveni.
Tamale Mirundi.
Why? Because we don't have a strong opposition in Uganda. The opposition which is being corrupted up is because of the mafias. Mafia bayina 3 issues which is disturbing them. Mafias have been using people and dumping them.
Tamale Mirundi kusonga abachina bakwesa ba mafia
abachina
China waliwo endowooza egamba nti abachina initially wali bagamba muzaale babiri kati bazaala basatu n'okusobawo nga bagamba nti bazaala yagenda okujja mu Africa n'enkola y'okudepopulizing China.
9 million Chinese.
Olowooza omuchina si yakwesa ba mafia.
9 million Chinese in Angola. In Uganda we must have 2 million Chinese. First of all, the Chinese live in secrecy. But what exposes the Chinese is their food in the supermarkets. Do we eat snakes?
Not at all.
Yes. Once you see the Chinese food in the supermarket dominating our supermarkets, it means the Chinese are here. But it's secretive. But that is not me. The Ugandans are in China, and China has abandoned you. I admire the Chinese. In fact, when we talk about COVID, I'm going to write, you will read my book, what I predicted about the Chinese. But what I'm saying, the Chinese are also victims. And China is a worse imperialist. Why? They have got their money through the nose. When you see African leaders running to China for money, they think that the Chinese have made this money through miracles. It's not a miracle. China is very tough on its money. Once they catch you stealing money as the thieves here do, you are Mirundi on an island, you are executed irrespective of your contribution and status, you face life imprisonment. Kakati mumulaza nti abachina bangu nnyo olina yekweka mbachina olina yekweka mbachina ne batwala ne sandals ne batwala chi ne batwala chi. This eno President Museveni, this is the easiest election as long as he can tackle the problem. Kakati mukano nakubuulira soma wano nkubuulire nti President naye namuwandika n'akatabana kama nemba buli akadaga temuyisobola kujoga bantu. What is eating up kadaga mukadaga bamalumu mujoga jaba kolere. I predicted the parliament. The parliament will be hostile to Museveni. Why? The way the mafias blundered, bargaining up. Do you see? I told you. Even Yolanya moves consciously. Bamukozesa ne bamudukako. Their practice. Kakati ono mukazi anywa yajjana kweza abadde mu binyo ne mubaka akatabo. Tugenda kumenya mayumba g'abahamu. Tugenda kola kya profit 5 billion. Bamuwagawaga kati anywa yatunde yagabe ekibira ebunyolo n'akigabira abasimbi b'ebikajjo. Museveni amubuuza wakikola otya. Ani yakulagira ati bali beekukumye bannannyini nsi beriyo bamafia beekukumye bati. Era I have written a book nti if you want to serve these mafias you can either be omulusula or omunyampi abalusula but balina mukwano anywa badduse asiki anywa nti ani yakugamba okutunda ekibira ono omukazi wa energy namaze mukuba yabadde sente azitwala mugundi sente zaleyo ezo twazinunudde kakati ono omukazi mutibwa kati bagobyeyo embwa naye ani amubaddemu beekukumye bwe bati bali mu state house.
Tamale ba mafias boboyogerako
babe
President Museveni abamanyi
naye alwana nabo
lwaki tabakuba
ate kana akasajja ka New Vision kakugamba mu radio zazze ate example sono of schools. If radios are the same radios to serve the same purpose, communication, and a consignment arrived, when the schools are taken, what do you do in normal circumstances? Nti watumye omwana ennyama ne wabaawo n'abaleetedde. What do you do? Emu mugire ekyaggulo temugiyiwa naye kasajja gwe walaba. N'omutwe gwako n'omutwe n'obugalubindi. Whom are you telling lies? If we have, okay, now that the radios that were supposed to be used, by students during COVID have arrived, then we divert this money that you're going to use to buy radios as election, because these are radios. Okumenya Museveni ayina ekizibu bicycle zeza yero wazirabyeko kazi kubanga ako kekede kenyini aka akasajja kekabayambe nnyo kekakuba ebyekisirusiru byonna ne bukedde. How can you have a credible national newspaper? You publish an article that an innocent businesswoman was killed by brokers against Ogulitaka. Have you seen the story anywhere? In almost circumstances, every newspaper must make a follow-up. Where is this follow-up? From Buked. I'm going to mobilize the people. When any newspaper that is in hands of a mafia editor, we don't buy it. And I have the influence. Kasatu tegeera nti kasajja kakuba bya busiru ba mafia be bakakozesa. Don't buy the newspaper.
Butere ochali kushato
eranga
twogera ku nsonga nyingi
kubanga boogera bya busiru. You published a story that a woman has been killed. The police is not updating up. You are not making follow-up.
Eranga we twogerera onaku ntono nyemba bega kawo permanent secretary mu kitongole eky'ebyobulamu Honorable Dana Atwine yavuddeyo n'afuna atongoza emitwalo 24
so kosemewa no
tamame nkansoke mpisewo kano
ebyo bya busiru.
Dana Atwine yavuddeyo n'atongoza emitwalo 24 n'ekitunde zaabo abaagala okwekebeza naddala abo truck drivers abayingira mu nsi yatu Uganda yabagambye nga tonnayingira oteeka okubanga ogenda keberebwa ekirwadde kya COVID-19 ate nga ogenda sasula emitwalo 24 n'ekitundu ne companies nga STV ni kese oyagala okebeza abakozi bammwe weetaaga okusasula emitwalo 24 n'ekitundu. Tamale Mirundi nkimanyi obadde obisamba tuninozo obadde ompuliriza emitwalo 24 n'ekitundu abo abaagala okwekebeza ekirwadde kya COVID-19.
It stinks like a malwa toilet. Never waste my time on such stupid things. You read
Tamale Mirundi banda Uganda ensonga ebajogerako.
Read here. They are provoking the people to riot. Mukazi gwecho ononyo je chifuna. Baje kuchifuna. These are Museveni's enemies who are forcing people to riot. Let them
appointed by the president.
Let them riot. This is a coup in a different fashion. Museveni is facing a rebellion from his team. Sibasiru. Sibasiru. These people are intelligent. But this is a coup in your president many people believe that when you have a group that has invested heavily in the country, of stability, no, they develop into a kazu, and the akazu eats its leader. These people believe abantu batutegedde tubabbi kubanga nabagamba tibakozesa politics
yes countries
bo balowooza ababbi baawano nti balinga ab'e Kenya. Ab'e Kenya tebabbanga ku bintu by'abantu. Ab'e Kenya government ya Bungereza n'eya Germany ya contributing a grant of $500,000 neegula ebintu mu bali departing settlers. Bano babba tax n'aleeta bus na dispersing aba na Bwiino na Baki ne baddira ente ez'abalunzi bannaabwe ne bagamba nti kalusu bazikole eddondolo ekiro nedira ennyama nagiteekamu eddagala effu kubanga is exporting. Bawunye mu nju bawunye mu toyi from byobufuzi batugamba nti once any group you feel any group in your pockets inside your house you hate it and you fight back. Kasita obba obutale nobba egundi sente za COVID nobba rediyo za gundi nobba no